Lewis Clark State College Students of Medieval History, Professor Martin. Welcome to week 14. We got 2 more weeks of class, and the mission is pretty straightforward. You guys have final projects to be working on. So, what I want to do is talk a little bit about how that project's going to play out for this week, and then next week is sort of self-explanatory. Maybe we'll do that too. So let's click in here to our modules. Maybe we'll just start with next week. Simple enough. On the 28th of April, your formal essay is due. Right? So that's the mission. I'm going to explain in the video how we're going to do things. It's going to be a little bit different than what's written, but I'm not going to change what's written too much because what's written is still accurate as I sit here and lie to you and change it while I talk, right? I like peer reviews. Peer reviews in online classes a little trickier. Like if you've had me for a face-to-face class, and I realize that some of you haven't, I like to do a peer review um, on the intro and a peer review on the conclusion and a kind of a peer review as we go bit by bit, because you don't have to do a peer review over the whole thing every single time. That seems to work better, at least for now, in my face-to-face classes. So next week, you guys are putting together an essay. Let's talk about what we're doing this week, though. You're still putting together an essay. This week, we're putting together an essay and we're getting ready for the peer reviews. So, the mission for this week is to have a 100% completely full draft together by the end of the day on Thursday. Earlier than that's better, but it's not the end of the world. If you have concerns about your grade, the number one thing you can do to improve your grade is to submit something for peer review that in another incarnation of yourself you think is ready to submit, because it is the last week of polishing, tinkering, adding materials that that's how the A's are made. It's the difference between the B's and the A's. The B's have excellent content and are written well. The A's just flow and are so easy to read and packed with information. And that is not a natural skill. That's from a peer review process. So here's how we're going to do the peer reviews. We're going to do them a little weirdly. I say weirdly, I think it works best online. I know that there's a peer review function inside of Canvas, and if you guys really want to use it, let me know. I'll turn it on for some of you. We'll do what we can. But what I think we should do is this. By the end of the day on Thursday, you click on peer review, and boom, you're going to come to a discussion board. And the discussion board has got each of your names on it. Okay, so Barbara will just pick on you. You click on the one with your name on it, click, and you go to upload documents, and you upload your essay. And then the next thing I want the author to do is provide some peer reviewers with some direction for your work. So let me talk about this for 1 second without being too long. You will get one kind of peer review if you hand over 8 pages to someone and say, please peer review this. That'll be one kind of peer review. You'll get a different kind of peer review if you give them the 8 pages and say, I'd like for you to, review and edit this. I know I've got issues with a comma, so please be on the lookout for that kind of thing. I am not convinced my introduction really does the thing that I need it to do. So if you'd be on the lookout for that. And I'm still trying to figure out how to work in one more piece of evidence, right? I don't know if my first and, if my transition sentence really work the way I think they do. I don't know if I've really proved my points, right? Give your reviewers something to be on the lookout for. And in fact, on the thread here, it says just some direction. I want you to give them at least 3 things to be on the lookout for. 3 things to be on the lookout for. You'll still get the regular old peer review, but you'll get people looking for something. Now, let me put the other twist on this particular peer review, right? Anyone can do a peer review who is willing to be honest with you, and not just say, looks great, right? So, your mom can do that. However, only the members of this class have read these books. And so this is your opportunity to get a peer review by someone who can actually help you with the content. So, if you want to use up your peer review so that, April or Tyler, sits there and tells you, hey, you really need to learn how to comma, and, I don't understand why you didn't hit spell check. That's one type of peer review. It would be better to have that peer review done before you submit it, so that you have these people looking at it and say, that year 1000 book's got this stuff in it that you could incorporate right away. And I didn't see the medieval graphic novel, and you could incorporate this stuff, right? So that's a really cool thing to have from this particular group of people. Okay, so how are you supposed to do your essays? You submit your essay to your thing, and then you provide some direction for your reviewers. Okay, I want that done by the end of the day on Thursday the 24th. And then what I want you to do is to pick an essay that doesn't have 2 reviews yet. You can start it right away, you can wait, but I want all this done by the end of the day on Sunday night at the latest. That way you guys have time to work on it. When you've picked an essay, whatever, we'll come back to Barbara's. She has hers uploaded. She's hit the reply and has the feedback. You hit reply, just put on it. Okay, that way there's not 2 of you working on the same essay and you guys don't know it, because we want everybody to get 2 essays. You can go through and do a bit by bit review. It's probably worthwhile. Those are great reviews. You'll definitely get credit for it. Personally, if there's a consistent mistake, let's go back to the comma use mistake. If the person clearly doesn't understand the rules for the comma, I might do it for the first page and then just, look the rules for the comma up, because it's an issue. And go on with other things. Now, you want to do this in like a friendly and constructive manner, right? But at the same time, you want to let people know. But really, what I want is, and yeah, I'm just going to write these things as I go because they're coming to me. In the comments, you know what? I'm going to pause this for a second. All right, let's try this again. When you do your peer review, pick an essay that doesn't have 2 reviews claim it by writing "I'm on it now" in the comments so that everyone knows, hey, someone's reviewing this. Do not write that unless you are on it now. I am doing it right now. Okay? When you finish it up, if you want to mark up the whole page, have a ball, right? That's useful. But in the comments, let the author know something that you thought they did well. Hey, you've got a really strong thesis. Hey, I really like the way that you use the evidence. Hey, your footnotes look really clean. Whatever. And then let the author know 3 things you think they should work on. Okay? And maybe the author has already given you the feedback, right? So you're kind of, you address their feedback. Let the author know the number 1 priority of these things. If this was due tomorrow, hey man, this is the thing you have to fix. And then give them an idea how to fix it. Do it 2 times before Sunday night. And then we'll spend Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday incorporating the feedback. We'll submit it Thursday of next week. I'm a little confused. May 1st, I think that's the day. And then we'll declare victory. So it's early. I'm moving slow. I need more coffee. But I wanted to get the peer review process out. And I think it's fairly straightforward. Let me know if you have any questions. And you can, in your own thread, before you post your essay, if you would be kind enough to write the words "Go Rockets." And that'll be like the little secret code, because I definitely get the impression that these videos on what we're supposed to do for the week are not being watched. I'm curious as to how many people are actually watching them. Go Rockets.